Star Trek's new series isn't your father's Star Trek. And it's exactly what the fans have waited for. For nearly 6 decades, Star Trek has been a reflection of its time, from the optimistic futurism of the original series to the moral and philosophical depth of the next generation and the darker political intrigue of Deep Space Nine. Every generation has its own Star Trek, and now, with the franchise's newest series leading the way, the message is clear. This isn't your father's Star Trek. It's louder, riskier, more emotionally raw, and exactly what longtime fans have been waiting for. A bold new direction that still honors the past. What makes the new Star Trek series so compelling isn't that it abandons the old ideals. It reinterprets them for a modern audience. While the 1960s Kirk-era episodes explored frontier exploration and human potential through allegory, the latest iteration dives into personal identity, trauma, and the cost of leadership with cinematic precision. The creators understand that fans don't want a carbon copy of The Next Generation or Voyager. They want something that respects Star Trek's moral compass while daring to evolve it. The new show does just that. Every phaser blast and warp jump feels earned because the series grounds its spectacle and emotion. There's a cinematic realism that has never been seen in Star Trek before, not just in the visuals, but in the storytelling. It's serialized yet tight, character-driven yet grand in scope. The result is a Star Trek that feels like prestige television, not just a space adventure of the week. A crew built for modern heroes. Each generation of Star Trek has defined heroism differently. Kirk's boldness, Picard's intellect, Janeway's resilience, they've all shaped the franchise's DNA. The new series continues that lineage but injects a modern sensibility. Its captain or lead officer is not a perfect moral guide. They're flawed, uncertain, even haunted by the consequences of their choices. This vulnerability doesn't weaken Star Trek's message. It strengthens it. It shows that even in a utopian federation, humanity still grapples with moral gray areas. It's a reflection of the times. Leadership today isn't about unshakable certainty, but about empathy, adaptability, and the courage to question. Supporting characters, too, have become more layered. Engineers, science officers, and even background crew members are given emotional arcs that connect deeply with viewers. From a young ensign struggling with self-doubt to a veteran officer haunted by past missions, every story contributes to the larger question. What does it really mean to boldly go? Modern storytelling with classic heart. Fans who grew up on TOS or TNG might find the new show more intense, visually darker, emotionally heavier, and stylistically sharper. But look closer, and you'll see the same core values shining through. The exploration of morality, unity, and curiosity is still front and center, only now told through a modern lens. The pacing is faster, yes. The dialogue crackles with contemporary realism. But in the end, the show is driven by the same hopeful ethos that Gene Roddenberry envisioned. That humanity's best days are still ahead if we are willing to learn from our mistakes. The difference is, this series doesn't shy away from the cost of progress. It shows the messy process of getting there. The failures, the ethical compromises, the personal sacrifices. In an age where audiences demand authenticity, this version of Star Trek feels more human than ever. Technology meets emotion. From a production standpoint, the new Star Trek series is the most stunning in the franchise's history. Every detail, from the ship's bridge lighting to the sound design of warp engines, is a love letter to both past and future. But what truly makes it special is how it uses technology to deepen storytelling. Visual effects aren't just there for spectacle. They serve emotion. When the camera lingers on a starfield, it's not about showing scale. It's about showing isolation. When the ship takes damage, you feel it. Not because of explosions, but because the camera stays on the faces of the crew holding their breath. Even the music has evolved. Instead of purely orchestral themes, the score fuses classical motifs with electronic undertones, symbolizing Star Trek's blend of tradition and innovation. A show that finally bridges the generations. Perhaps the greatest success of this new Star Trek is that it unites fans across eras. Longtime Trekkies appreciate the subtle nods, a reference to an old mission, a familiar ship class, a cameo from a legacy character, while new viewers can jump in without feeling lost. The show's writing team clearly understands that nostalgia can't carry a franchise forever. Instead of clinging to the past, it uses it as a foundation. When a young officer quotes Spock or references the Prime Directive, it's not fan service, it's storytelling continuity, a living reminder of the ideals that shape the Federation. The Star Trek fans have waited for years, fans debated what Star Trek should be. an anthology of moral parables, a political thriller, or a character-driven drama. The truth is, the best Star Trek has always been all three. The new series understands that balance. It's not afraid to question Starfleet's ideals or show that the Federation, for all its utopian promise, is still made up of flawed beings trying to do